Hi everybody, Decent Eddie here. It's Tuesday, June 24th, 2025. The NBA is over and my NBA confident picks ended at 81% this season, where I got 203 right and 48 wrong altogether. Out of all 716 moneyline picks that I did, I went 492 to 224, ending at 69% for the season. Nice. For my first try at NBA, I'm pretty happy with that. Currently, with my WNBA confident picks, we're now at 76%. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment for daily picks before tip-off on the day of the game, and remember, always check matchup news and injury reports, usually about 20 minutes before tip-off. Data only tells you part of the story. My goal is to help you make more informed and statistically grounded decisions. My data set focuses on moneyline picks, and my analysis may be useful for spread and over-under bets. We got a few games today. One of them's kind of interesting. We're going to talk about that. First up, though, we've got Dream versus Wings. Dream get a Decent Eddie confident pick with a 3.434 differential. That indicates about a 74% chance to win by my data. Sportsbooks have Dream as 8.5 point favorites and are implying an 81% chance for the Dream to win here. The Dream are hot. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. They're playing very balanced basketball with terrific three-point shooting. Their defense is great. They're doing things, and they're looking like one of the top teams in the entire league at the moment. In this game, there's a huge dark cloud for the Wings tonight, and then we're talking about injuries. While their core players do have some energy and are there, the Wings are currently struggling and are severely shorthanded. Several key rotational players are likely out for this game. Again, check on that about 20 minutes before tip-off just to be sure. These are not minor absences either. They significantly impact Dallas's depth, particularly in their interior presence and playmaking. The Dream currently favored at 8.5 points. Looking at recent trends, the Dream have been strong against the spread this season, holding a 9-5 record against the spread. The Wings have struggled to cover against the spread, and they've been particularly bad at home, going just 1-5 against the spread. Given Atlanta's current form, their outstanding power on offense, Dallas's list of injuries, covering that 8.5 point spread, while substantial in some cases, seems well within the Dream's capabilities tonight. The current over-under for this game is set at 169.5 points. The Dreams games have mostly tended to go with the over at 8-6 over-under record. The Dallas Wings, despite their struggles, have also seen their games go over more often than not, even if just barely, with an 8-7 over-under record, hitting the over in 4 of their last 5 contests. With both teams featuring high-powered offenses and Dallas's defense being notably weak, especially from beyond the arc where Atlanta kind of lives, there's a strong likelihood for a pretty high-scoring game here. I'd expect plenty of points to be put on the boards in this game, but Wings do have those absences, so past results of some higher scoring games may not hold tonight, so use caution. In the end, we're talking about money line here. My data says Dream. Books are saying Dream. I have to take Dream on the money line for my data regardless of the value. All right, a win is a win. Moving on to Sparks versus Sky. Sparks get a danger pick with a 0.3 differential. By my data, that's about a 51% chance to win. That's a coin toss. Sportsbooks are slightly more enthusiastic. They may have their reasons on this too. Sparks are 4.5 point favorites, but that's down from 6 to 6.5 points over the last 24 hours. That's still an implied 69% chance for the Sparks to win by the books. Given the Sparks' recent 13-point victory in Chicago, their ability to exploit the Sky's league worst 3-point defense and Sky's struggles at home against the spread, that 4.5 point spread is even more appealing here. The Sparks, they should be able to cover that relatively modest number against the Sky. The Sky, they've got challenges, y'all. The over-under is set at 167.5 points. Both of these teams have seen their games trend towards the over this season. The Sparks have hit the over in 8 of the last 14 games, and notably in the last 4 games. The Sky also tend to play higher scoring games, but just barely, hitting the over in 7 of 13 of the last matchups. Given Chicago's league worst defense, especially against the 3-ball, there is the possibility of a higher scoring ending, much like their previous matchup that tallied 169 points. I'm considering taking the over if it's at 167.5 points in this game, but you should do some research on your own to see how you feel. Maybe, I don't know, do you? But both of these teams are struggling this season regardless. But the Sparks actually went into Chicago just last month and walked away with a 91-78 win. I mean, that left an impression. The Sparks have an offense that, while inconsistent, is capable of putting up some points. The Sky's biggest Achilles heel is their defense. They rank last in the league. They're very poor in my data set. The field goal percentage allowed, and crucially, they're worst at defending the three-point. That's going to be exploited, I would guess. While Sky has historically owned the head-to-head, that recent home loss to the Sparks at this very arena looms large. My data says Sparks, barely. Sportsbooks are lukewarm on Sparks, but they're still saying Sparks, so I've got to take Sparks on the money line. Lynx versus Mystics. This one could be interesting. Lynx get a decent Eddie confident pick with a 2.167 differential, indicating a 74% chance for the Lynx to win head-to-head on the money line. The books have Lynx as 9-point favorites, and the over-under is 156.5 points right now. Books are implying a win probability for Lynx at 83%, but let's talk a little bit about this against the spread pick for this game. The Lynx are favored by 9 points. Our data sees a potentially much tighter game. While the Lynx are arguably the best team in the WNBA, it's worth noting they're 1-3 against the spread record in the last 4 road games. The Mystics have been a reasonable bet as underdogs, going 8-6 against the spread and 4-2 in their last 6 games. With Washington's recent momentum and scoring surge, covering a 9-point spread is a tall order for the Lynx. So I'm leaning towards the Mystics to cover the 9-point spread here. Pivoting to the over-under, this is a notably low total, largely due to Lynx having the #1 defense in my data set and in many of the league defense metrics. While the Mystics have shown some offensive improvement recently, facing the Lynx defense will be their toughest test. The Lynx's scoring is high, but their defensive toughness usually leads to lower scoring games overall. Given Minnesota's defensive lockdown capabilities, I'd lean towards the under at 156.5 points in this particular game. My data says Lynx on the money line. Books say Lynx. I'm taking Lynx on the money line, full stop. Last up, it's Fever versus Storm. Storm get a danger pick with a 1.766 differential, equating a little over a 50% chance for the Storm to win by my data. Sportsbooks have Storm as 3.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 167.5 points at the moment. Books are implying a Storm win probability of 63% head-to-head. The Storm are doing pretty well. They've won 6 of the last 7 games, including impressive games over the Liberty and the Lynx. I mean, you can't ignore that. They are playing at home, and the team as a whole, they've been dialed in defensively, finishing games strong. The Fever are looking to avoid a 3rd straight defeat on this game. While they boast a high-powered offense, they've been blowing leads, just completely coming unraveled. And efficiency has been a concern in my data, with a tough shooting stretch and increased turnovers. Compounding that, Fever have a key player out due to personal reasons, which is a significant absence. Historically, the Storm have dominated the head-to-head matchups against the Fever. Storm are favored by 3.5 points, considering Seattle's incredible form, their home court advantage, their recent wins against, 2 amazing teams. They are playing at an elite level. The Fever are slumping. Clark is struggling. They're without a key player. A 3.5-point spread for a team playing this well against a struggling opponent is very manageable in my opinion. I'm backing the Storm to cover the 3.5-point spread here. Both of these teams have the capability to put up points, with Fever having a reasonably strong offense and Storm also having a fairly strong offense as well. However, the Storm's defense has been excellent and forcing a lot of turnovers. The Fever's offense could be hampered by Clark's shooting challenges and Bonner's absence. While the Fever have good outside defense, the Storm's overall defensive strength and the Fever's recent struggles suggest that scoring might be tougher than the individual offensive stats might look. Okay, that's a warning. I'm leaning towards the under of 167.5 points in this matchup, but I hang my hat on the money line. And even though my data says it's dangerous, I have to go with my data here and take the Storm. Books say Storm. It's Storm for me on the money line. All right, y'all, that's it. Quick recap. Decent Eddie Confident picks, we got 2 of them. We've got Lynx and Dream. Suboptimal picks, we don't got any of those. And Danger Moneyline picks, we got Storm and Sky. For parlays, I like to include confident picks and parlays, and we've got 2 of them. So, for example, if you use Dream and Lynx in a 2-leg moneyline parlay, your win probability by my data is 55%. Sportsbook's data is slightly higher. I will always endorse up to a 3-leg parlay with legs having between odds -400 to -450. If you do that, your win probability stays above 50%, okay? Regardless of what you choose, I never recommend more than a 3-leg parlay due to the risks of combined probabilities. And remember, don't spend more than 10% of your bankroll in total across all your wagers in a day, okay? Never chase losses. And if you need help with a gambling problem, resources are in my channel's description. So thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, please subscribe, please tap the bell to get my picks before tip-off on the day of the game. Please leave a comment. I like to interact with you all. Follow me on Decent Eddie Picks on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at X at Decent Eddie Picks, spelled P-I-X. You can find me at TikTok at decent.eddies.picks. Sometimes I post some team grades there. If I have thoughts during the game, so I'll post there sometimes. But let's see what happens tonight. This is Decent Eddie signing off. Have an awesome day.